Hey guys, this is Tiggy Maximus with Tiggy Maximus Talks, episode 207 on Spotify and YouTube. Thank you guys for subscribing, following the podcast, listening to the podcast, and spreading the word. And if you haven't already, there's a link on my Spotify episodes and my YouTube episodes where you can make a donation to the podcast. Anything's appreciated, guys. And this episode 207. Um, gotta say, Chargers did pretty well. Uh, gotta say, Chargers. Defense. There was some spots on defense where it seemed like the Chargers were vulnerable, but they kind of shorted up and they didn't allow the Tennessee Titans to get a lot of points after the opening touchdown. So it was 7-3 Titans to start off the first quarter. And, the fact that the Tennessee Titans with Will Levis, he kind of found some kind of opening to kind of expose the Chargers wherever they weren't doing their best. But since that time, Chargers kind of did their thing. They got another field goal because he started the game with a field goal, so it was 3-0. Then Tennessee got their touchdown, 7-3. Justin Herbert kind of got them to another field goal to kick by Cameron Dicker, 7-6. Then Justin Herbert got a touchdown. Now we're looking at 13-7. And then I think it got to 13-10. And then Chargers got another touchdown. I think it might have been to Quentin Johnston. So, and apparently Justin Herbert did get his own running touchdown. So whichever it happened, so it did become 20-10, and then the fourth quarter, Chargers kind of put the nail in the coffin. Chargers got I believe it was a Russian touchdown. It wasn't Dobbins and it wasn't Gus Edwards. It was the other running back, and that made it 27-10. So, but guess what happened? Chargers pretty much had the game won, but Tennessee wanted to get another shot at some points, and Tennessee Titans were able to throw a touchdown pass to what seemed like it was Calvin Ridley. So, that made it 27-17, and then the Chargers closed it out. Recovered the onside kick. Now the Chargers are 6-3 now, comfortably in second place of the AFC West Division, and well, they would have had the Denver Broncos on their tail for second place, except Denver Broncos had a chance to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in their stadium on Sunday. 16-14, Chiefs were up. Denver Broncos basically had a chance to win it with a 35-yard field goal. You would think that a 35-yard field goal for, I think his name is Will Lutz, would have been kind of automatic, but apparently the Kansas City Chiefs had 7 guys break through the line and blocked that field goal attempt right at the end of the game, and Chiefs recovered the ball. Ball was dead after the recovery, and the Kansas City Chiefs escaped winning the football game on a blocked field goal. 16-14. Chiefs are still undefeated I think they are now 9-0, 10-0. So with the Chargers at 6-3, I think that was probably the only chance the Chargers had a chance of catching the Kansas City Chiefs for the division championship. Fortunately, Broncos kind of failed us, and Broncos I think are 5-5 now. So uh, Chargers at 6-3 will probably get the first wild card, so they'll probably be like another number 5 seed. I would say from the way things are going, if the Chargers end up number 5, they're probably going to face the AFC South champion, which is the Houston Texans. Which, by the way, Sunday Night Football, they were up 23-13 on the Detroit Lions, who were supposed to be the Super Bowl favorite coming from the NFC side. And the Texans pretty much had their number for the first half. But then the second half, I mean, even though Jared Goff threw what seemed like 5 interceptions, but the Lions came back and defeated the Houston Texans 26-23. Big shocker. And, well, Texans, I guess, just can't finish off the game, much less, they're going to be stuck. Probably lose in the first round. And, if they play the Chargers and you don't score anything on the Chargers defense, and the Chargers offense will eventually break through, and that'll probably be the deciding factor. So Chargers will probably beat whoever is the fourth divisional champion. Probably the Houston Texans. Probably not the Buffalo Bills, because the Buffalo Bills will probably face the Ravens or the Steelers. But Ravens and Steelers, whoever ends up as the wild card is going to have to try to compete for that fifth seed or 5 seed with the Chargers. And if that's the case, they might fall to number 6. But if the Chargers end up number 6, it's going to be an interesting thing, because Chargers could possibly face the Buffalo Bills or the Ravens or the Steelers. And if that's the case, Chargers have a good shot against any of these teams. And in the second round, the Chargers might be playing against the Chiefs, the Ravens, Steelers, or the Buffalo Bills. And if that's the case, Chargers could represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, and it's very likely they might do it. They might beat the Chiefs. Good chance they beat the Bills, and definitely beat the Texans. And I would say they probably could beat the Ravens and the Steelers, because Justin Herbert, he's going to be healthy, and hopefully he will be for the playoffs and the rest of the season. So it's nice to have the running backs come back. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, I believe, is back. And Joshua Palmer is basically our third receiving option. Quentin Johnston is now hooking up with Justin Herbert as Lad McConkey. So the Chargers have quite a receiving core, in addition to Hurst and Disley. So Chargers got some great options, and it looks like Justin Herbert doesn't have a high ankle sprain as much as before. He's running. He had a rushing touchdown in this game, so things are looking pretty good. If they click on offense and the defense is doing what they're doing, shutting down teams, no one is going to want to face the Chargers. So we'll see what happens going forward. Next up, the Chargers are playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. The game got bumped up to Sunday Night Football, NBC, primetime, which means they kicked out the Colts and the Jets because they don't look that great right now. So, good choice by NBC to flex the game in, kick out the Jets and the Colts. And I'm going to be watching that game probably from LA. I'm going to be at SoFi Stadium for that game. Can't wait. If that doesn't happen for some strange reason, I'm still working on it. There's a bunch of bars or my place to watch Sunday Night Football, get some good food, great crowd. You don't have to deal with traffic. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I wanted this game to be the one Charger game I wanted to go to this year, and it's very much possible. I'm going to do it. I'm going to work towards that, get some good seats, bring a buddy, and have a good time. The other thing I want to talk about in this episode, I got to see Pete Giovine. He got to headline the main room of the Mic Drop Comedy Club. I believe this was on November 2nd. I found out about this show because of Taylor Spencer. Thanks for the invite. And I'm glad I went because just about everybody did well on this show. Camille Waters, I believe she was the host who started off the show. She had some new jokes, and she still had this one joke that still does pretty well. It's her artichoke joke and her friend talking about eating ass and respect, complaining about her man doesn't respect me. Well, after confessing that you eat ass, I guess he just simply just don't respect you now. And we just shared an artichoke dip. Get your own. I know where your mouth has been now. Ew. Camille Waters did pretty well. Crowd liked her a lot. I like saying that because it's true. And I like how she's incorporating some new jokes with her old ones. Um, this crowd, they were really into it. Um, it's nice being in the main room, and more people. Um, so I gotta say, Camille Waters, she was a 8.5 out of 10. Next we have Char Rampton. Um, I still remember her a bit about um, the, I guess, the babysitting job she had, and she had to babysit this one girl, and the girl wanted her to build an obstacle course. And then she basically has her bread and butter joke about building an obstacle course. How about obstacle in life? You know, you're pregnant, the waffle guy is the father, you work at a Waffle House, figure it out. And I got some good laughs from the crowd. Um, she did talk about her boyfriend and um, um, and she had some other jokes too. And so there's yeah, I would say a mixture of some old ones, but then there were some new ones with her. Um, kind of liked her, I gotta say. Um, I want to say she was 8.4 out of 10. Next up, I haven't seen this guy for a while. He's the photographer at most comedy clubs, including the Mike Drop Comedy Club, Sean Baker. And he got some high fives from the crowd. That was part of his crowd work. I think he just kind of talks about some dating and some guy stuff. um, he was fun to watch, and I would say there's a little mixture of old jokes and new jokes too as well. Um, and you know, crowd work is always good, especially when you do it right. So I enjoyed it. I got to say he was an 8.4 out of 10. Next we have Taylor Great. Um, he was pretty interesting. He did his accent to start off the bit. Um, so I guess he's trying to pull off a Jamaican accent or maybe an African accent. So, um, and then he talked normal, and then I believe he had talked about um, some dating or clubbing. So that was pretty interesting, and I guess he talked about being tall too. So he does bring some intensity to his set, and crowd liked him. Uh, I want to say he was a um, 8.4 out of 10. Next we have Taylor Spencer, who invited me to the show, and it was mostly the same stuff I've seen before. So she does talk about the master hands and talked about her interview process with her just studying acting, and the other guy was like I guess he was like a sex offender or something, maybe a pedophile or something. So she wanted the job over the other guy. She did improv on stage. She demonstrated what it's like to do improv on stage. Um, so a lot of good classic ones. Um, I gotta say, she was an 8.25 out of 10. Um, then next up we have Rachel Lloyd, and she did some beatboxing, so that was pretty cool. Um, she did uh, she did talk about fantasy football, which is kind of cool. Thinks she's trying to get into football, but um, she says that she doesn't get the appeal of football, and it's a lot of hard work. And then fantasy football was pretty much a thing where I kind of said something from where I was sitting because I was sitting in the center in the middle, and I kind of got into the whole thing with fantasy football. I nodded my head. I said, "Yeah." So kind of related to it, and that was kind of cool. And she did some beatboxing, and she kind of improv some of the words or no, she did. Yeah, some words that she was given, and she improved it. Did some beatboxing improv. So, um, so that was fun. I liked her. She she brought a lot of energy to it, and I gotta say, um, she did well with the crowd, and her beatboxing is quite impressive actually. So I gotta say, Rachel Lloyd, she was a 8.3, 8.3 out of 10. Um, Next up, I don't think I've ever seen this guy before, Jamal Cole. So he he did some interesting jokes, and I would say he had kind of did well with his crowd. Um, didn't do too bad, honestly. Um, I think he did a little bit of crowd work, and I thought he did all right. I didn't get to talk to him about the show though, but um, but it was good, and I want to say Jamal Cole was 8.3, 8.3 out of 10. Next we have Samantha Schwimmer. Um, she had new stuff. She talked about dated. Um, she said that her boyfriend thinks that she has autism, and a lot of things checked out. And then she had a thing about being a lesbian was part of her autism. So um, it's kind of cool how she kind of references Frankie indirectly in this one. So that was fun. And honestly, this doesn't sound like anything I've heard before from her shows from before. So I like the new material from Samantha. I would say that she was a 8.5 out of 10. Um, Next we have Cassidy Staines. Um, she talked about how she's not a fan of the penis, the cock, and she was a lot of fun stuff she did on stage. She was pretty funny. I liked her. I want to say that she was an 8.5 out of 10. And then we have another comic that I haven't seen before, Eric Bowen. Um, he did talk about being black, I think. And then he did all right. I want to say he was 8.3 out of 10. Um, then we have Chuck Myers. Uh, I guess he did talk about how his parents didn't believe that he was, I guess, not like man enough, masculine, because being a male nurse is not very common. It's like a unicorn, essentially. So, but he has some good stuff. Chuck Myers, I want to say he was an 8.4 out of 10. Next up, Alfred Canoe. What? I've seen him before. I saw him at Ellis Lynn show at the Vinyl Migrante. Um, he did talk about politics in a way. He did mention Hillary, but he did talk about some politics. And then talked about how his wardrobe is always a hot topic because he always dressed like he's very preppy. um, I want to say Alfred. Alfred was a 8.5 out of 10. He was pretty loud actually. 8.5 out of 10. And then next we have a magician, Justin Rivera, and he pretty much the improv feedback. So whenever he asks somebody for words in the crowd, he does change the words to fit his thing. Justin Rivera. Yeah, it was really funny because whatever you say as for input, he has already a bit in place. So that was fun to watch. Um, so Justin Rivera, I want to say he was an 8.5 out of 10. So it was a good mixture of magic and comedy. So crowd liked it. I would say more than half the crowd liked it. And then the guy of the night, man of the hour, got to see Pete Giovine. Apparently he was a DJ or an MC. He was an MC for like the 21st birthday for Selena Gomez and Miley Cyrus and stuff, and a lot of birthday parties for like celebrities. He's the guy. He's the MC for that. And he had a lot of funny stuff. He talked about dating, uh, what he looks like. Uh, he did some comparisons, did some crowd work, told some funny jokes. Um, and crowd liked him quite a bit, and I was impressed. He kept the laughter going for like almost every minute, and I would say everybody in the crowd laughed, mostly together, and then there were some parts that had some broken up laughter, but it was worth it for most people. And I got to talk to Pete Giovine after the show and a little bit with Taylor Spencer, and then I got some high fives and fist bumps from um, Samantha Schwimmer. Uh, that was fun. I want to say Pete Giovine, he was a 9.1 out of 10. So I like how he kept people laughing almost every punchline, and that's all pretty awesome to have. That's a cool skill to have. So can't wait to see Pete again down the road. See what happens. Well, guys, that's it for me. Um, that was a lot of comedy, comics to talk about, but overall, good show. Overall, um, apparently the Mic Drop does have some new. Um, oh, actually no. Uh, the um, okay, I lost my train of thought. I mean, yeah. Uh, Pete Giovine, great guy to meet and to talk to. And I think I got to say hi to Chuck Myers and Alfred Canoa. And I got to say something quick to Samantha Schwimmer and Rachel Lloyd and Taylor Spencer. And high five or fist bump to the great. Got to talk to Sean Baker. Got to talk to Elizabeth Shar Rampton. And of course, um, it was good seeing all the comics, most of them. And it was good to see Justin Rivera for the first time and to see Pete Giovine for the first time. So that was a pretty awesome comedy show. It was called the Winter Camp Comedy Show with Pete Giovine. So that was pretty cool. Well, guys, that's it for me. Stay tuned for my next episode on food, comedy, and sports. And you know what I'm saying? Boom! Tiggy Maximus signing off. Baby. Alright, later, guys. And check out my show. I'm co-hosting with Jeremy Gumbo Christian at the Mic Drop Comedy Club, November 15th, Friday, 10 o'clock p.m. Get your tickets. Later, guys. Bye.